Hello, welcome to this next Prenarculus production. Today we are going to teach you how to factor cubic polynomials. These are some of the most often mistake-filled made polynomials that can be factored. A lot of mistakes on these. It's just a couple of formulas that you have to follow, but you do have to remember them. So we'll give you some hints, some tricks to remember the formulas, and let's go and let's see if we can get started. All right, so today we are going to factor cubic polynomials. There are two formulas to being able to factor a cubic polynomial. Anything in the form a cubed plus b cubed. So some number being cubed plus something else being cubed can be factored using this formula that you see here. A plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared, which again looks pretty complicated. But let's take a look and see if we can kind of break this formula down. So we have a cubed plus b cubed is going to factor into this. Now, if you look at this first factor that's here, the first factor is a plus b. So if you can identify a from your original polynomial, identify b from your original polynomial, the sign, you can see, also stays the same, a plus b. Okay. Now, this second factor follows this pattern. SOPPS. Okay. SOPS. So it stands for the square of a. Take a, find out what it is, and square it. Use the opposite sign from the one that's given to you. So we're given a polynomial as a cubed plus b cubed. The opposite of plus would be minus. Product, multiply a and b, plus square, the other square. Take b and square it. All right, so let's try this one that's on the bottom here, and then we'll look at the one for minus. If we can do the one for plus, you could definitely do the one for subtraction as well. So we want you to factor x cubed plus 64. So the first thing we have to do is we have to break down x cubed plus 64 and figure out what a and b are for our formula that we have right here. So the question is, what's being cubed? Well, in x cubed, it's x that's being cubed. Right? That's how we get x cubed. 64 is 4 cubed. So now we have x cubed plus 4 cubed. So that means a is x, b is 4. Those are the two things that are being cubed. And now we're going to apply this formula. So x cubed plus 64 will factor as, okay, so we're just going to use a plus b, because that's a plus. So that's x plus 4, that's my first factor, times, and then we're going to do SOPPS. Square a, so that's x squared. Opposite sign, so instead of plus, we're going to use minus. Product, so x, a times b is 4x, plus square. Take b and square it, you get 16. This is the correct answer. It's all done. So let's take a look over here at a cubed minus b cubed. Okay, a cubed minus b cubed. Now, if you look at that formula, you should say to yourself, oh, well, look, it's almost the same as the one that we just did. And you'd be right. Okay, a cubed minus b cubed starts with a minus b, keeps the same sign as the one that's given. And then here we again have SOPS, SOPPS. Square of a, opposite sign from the minus, which in this case will be plus, product of a and b, plus square. So let's try to factor x cubed minus 8. So to do that, we have to identify a and b. What's being cubed? Well, x is being cubed to make x cubed. And to make 8, 2 is being cubed. So that means a will be x, b will be 2. So now that must mean that x cubed minus 8 will factor as, follow the formula, a minus b times, okay, SOPPS, PS. Here we go. Square A, so that's x squared. Opposite sign. We have a negative here, so we'll have a positive here. Product, A times B, 2x. Plus, it's always plus there, square, 2 squared, 4. That's my answer. And this is all done. Okay? That's how these formulas work. Now, you have to know them. If you don't know the formula, you literally have no shot to get the right answer. All right? All right, let's try a couple more. So here's our formulas again, just kind of hanging out here. All right? In case we need them, but hopefully you won't. So let's try x or 8x cubed plus 1. All right? So we need to know what's being cubed. What's being cubed to make 8x cubed? Well, 8 is 2 cubed, right? 2 cubed is 8. And x cubed is x cubed. So as a combination, it must be 2x that's being cubed to make 8x cubed. And sure, if you remember your exponent rules from back in the day, you would take each one of these, raise each one to the third power, and you get 8x cubed. Plus 1. What's being cubed to make 1? Well, just 1. 1 cubed is 1. So that means A is now 2x, a little fancier. B is 1. Okay, so now we're going to factor. Here we go. 8x cubed plus 1. We'll factor as A, keep this sign, plus B. So 2x plus 1 times SOPPS. Square. Take 2x and square it. All right, so we'll just leave that here for now, and then we'll do it in a minute. Use the opposite sign of this. So we have a positive there, so it's going to be negative there. Product. 2x times 1 is 2x. Plus, always plus, square, 1 squared is 1. And then finally, our 2x quantity being squared, that would give us a 4x squared minus 2x plus 1. That's the correct answer. And finally, let's look at letter D, 54x cubed minus 16y cubed. You might be looking at this and saying, 54? What cubed is 54? There's nothing cubed that gives me 54. And there's nothing cubed that gives me 16. But when you factor, you should never forget to check for a GCF first. So there is a GCF between 54 and 16. It's just 2. But we could take a 2 out as a GCF, and we'd be left with 27x cubed minus 8y cubed. Oh, that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's look at that 27x cubed. What cubed is 27? Well, 3 cubed is 27, and then we have the x cubed. Okay, and then here, 8y cubed. What cubed is 8? Well, 2 cubed is 8, and then y cubed is y cubed. So that makes A, 3x, B, 2y. And then this 2, the GCF, is just going to carry down to the next line. So we're going to write it because it's part of our answer. And now we're going to factor this inside with our formula for the cubic. Now let's see if we can remember it without using it. So we got A, keep the sign, B. So we got 3x minus 2y times. Now we go here. We're going to have SOPPS. Here we go. Square. So take 3x, square it. Opposite sign, minus, plus, product. 3x times 2y is 6xy. Plus, square. Take 2y and square it. So leave the 2 out. 3x minus 2y stays. We can clean this up. 3x quantity squared is 9x squared plus 6xy plus 2y quantity squared is 4y squared. And that is the correct answer. Now, remember, you're factoring. So you always know if you're right. All you have to do, is multiply. If you multiply this out and you get back to where you started, you must have done it right. If you multiply it out and you don't get back to where you started, You either multiplied it out wrong or you factored it wrong. So never forget that. You can always factor things. Okay? And then you can check to make sure that they're right. All right? And that's it. And as always,